Hi, everybody. This is Joanne Nistico. Welcome to the OPA Call, the Organic Products Associates, or Organic Powerful Achievers. And tonight we're going to have a really fun and interesting event when, I, as a master coordinator, have been asked, like the other master coordinators in the OPA organization, have been asked to host these calls. And, sometimes it gets really hard to think about, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to bring to the table? And how can I help the people that are in OPA that, sometimes you can go to regular meetings and hear a certain person talk, and you hear them and you hear them so often that you fail to hear them. You just can't digest how they're saying it. So sometimes a different voice, a different speaker gives you some of the same kind of information, but you kind of open your ears to hear it a little differently so that you can actually apply it. And that's what we're going to be doing tonight, is we're talking about, as I decided, what am I going to do tonight? And I thought, well, let me share what I am doing and what I'm doing to build the business and get excited about it and feeling great about how our business can grow and how it can be a very viable and enthusiastic vision of what my future can be. And if I've 50 years in the business, so sometimes you have to rethink certain things to get that excitement back. And that's what we're going to share tonight with you. So I want to thank my guests for joining us this evening. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. So thank you for showing up. And again, my name is Master Coordinator Joanne Nistico. And my guest speakers with me are Senior Coordinator Pamela Budner and Director Dr. Jennifer Cancio, two people that I'm working with regularly these days to expand and build our businesses. And our topic is what it takes to grow your Shaklee business right now. How many of you want to build your Shaklee business right now? You wouldn't be on the call, I don't think, if you didn't want to build your business. And that's what we want to help you with. So the agenda will be setting the stage for your goals. Let's review the OPA Trip Dollar Tracker to help you earn money for the 2025 Shaklee Leadership Summit. I'm going to open up the screen to kind of see everybody if I can. I hope, how many of you have filled out your tracker? Raise your hand and sent it to the person. Okay, I can't see how many. Well, I certainly, if you haven't, I want to encourage you to do that, and I'll talk about why. Getting into action, Dr. Jennifer will talk about how to up-level your business activity using a simple tracking sheet. And Pamela Budner will talk about the power of one more, learn about the importance of small, consistent actions for growth. Okay, let's see if they get the slide to move. Okay. How to grow your Shaklee business right now. That's what I asked myself, how am I going to build my Shaklee business right now? And it came back to the power of why. Have you lost touch with your why? Because what happens when we have our why back intact? We then get excited. We then realize that we know that why we got into Shaklee in the first place. We then realize, well, I became a director, or I became an XYZ in Shaklee because of my why, and reignite your why. Or are you just going through the motions that you know your why? If you haven't fully gotten in touch with your heart again and your enthusiasm, rethink about it, journal a little bit about it. And what's your vision and focus for your business and future? In 2000, I think it was 2020 or 21, I decided to really reclaim my why, really reclaim my vision and reclaim my focus for my business and my future. And I'm now starting to see really the strength of that work that I did, the momentum really expanding. And the women on the call tonight are with me who also started that with me, who are carrying it through, as are a number of others that I'm masterminding with them. What is your intention? and strategy for getting where you want to go, where your focus is, what your vision of your business is. I want you to answer these questions for yourself and not just listen to me. If you're taking notes, I hope you are. One of the things that I've realized, I've done weekly meetings for years and years and years, and I see attendees who sit there and they look at me and aren't taking notes. I don't want you to so much take notes of what I'm talking about. I want you to take notes about what your response is, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what are some of your questions, how can you dig deep on who you are and why you're in this business, what your vision and focus is, what your intention and strategy is, and then what will your weekly activity plan be? What will you do to get there? And what are your expectations? All of that stuff is basically personal development, and that's what we work strongly on our teams. So here's what we came up with why we meet each week. It's because we can transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones by helping individuals achieve better health and embrace vibrant living, all while nurturing our personal team volume. Now, isn't that true? I would think that everyone on this call, a big portion of their why is our passion for helping individuals achieve better health and better health for ourselves, our family members, people we meet, and embrace vibrant living. Most Shaklee people live vibrantly. They're active because we feel good, all while nurturing our personal team value. PTV is a new term for us, but what is it really? It isn't a new term, because how did we build our business? We built our business by getting new customers, and those new customers can either turn into lifetime consumers, they can turn into what Mary Loomis used to call sometimes doers, where they'll do enough so that they can earn a bonus, and then others decide to look at the business and make it a full-time career or even a part-time career. So personal team volume has always been there. We've forgotten it's one person at a time and exposing them to, introducing them to Shaklee. So what I want to talk about tonight is OPA Trip Dollar Tracker. And my assignment to everybody on this call is you complete the OPA Trip Dollar Tracker and get it to your upline and your master coordinator. You said you wanted to grow. If you're not filling that out, then it's a wish. It's a hope. It's not an action. We'll talk about weekly activity success tracker. And these tools are used to evaluate where you are. That's why I want you to fill them out. Let's evaluate where you are, what you did last year, what is happening in your business, what you need to change or improve your skills on. If we keep doing the same things and expect our results to be different, that is the definition of insanity. And so we're shaking up ourselves a lot in the mastermind group that I'm working with, that we need to change if we want to see the change that we want in our business. There are also educational tools to help you improve your sales and leadership skills. A mentor can assist you with focus, strategy, and direction. So if you're on the fence, need more direction, you need to talk to your active upline or your active master coordinator who is actively working themselves, and then create a mastermind team of 2 or more that can help keep you in momentum as we start taking this journey together. Don't give up, just adjust. I had the teams that I'm working with all send me their trip dollar trackers. I evaluated all the numbers, went through everything, and I saw where people have been with us in OPA and the trainings we've had for years knew how to fill out a tracker. The new people had a really hard time on understanding what they needed to do, so I would meet with them, go over the numbers. One felt they were going too high and they thought maybe they should adjust lower. And we had a dialogue about why not change your thinking and say, I am working towards that. I will work towards that and keep working towards that. because I have the long view in mind and I will get there rather than level down versus level up. Okay, let me see where I go next. Okay, so let's look at this tracker that you're going to have. Rob Loomis sent this out to everyone. You're going to increase your monthly PGV for those of you that are a director, 4,999 or below. And you're going to do the PGV history. And I'm not going to go through this in detail because you need to look at it, fill these numbers up. Everybody that is you can in your 13-month, in your back office, if you look at your 13-month history, you can get a lot of these figures, or you can pull up your bonus check. I certainly hope everybody downloads their bonus checks. I've always done that. But Shackley now told us to do it because of changes in the computer. And then on the bottom here, it says how you fill it out and what you can earn. There's up to $600 in trip dollars to the Leadership Summit. And you all said you wanted to grow. You can grow by 1,000 volume a month to earn $200 in trip dollars. And we're going to talk about how do you set a goal? Well, your goal, if your base is that you're actively been running 2,000 a month, June through May, what would your goal be? 3,000 each month through May. That would qualify you for the 12, increasing your volume by 12,000, and you'd get $200. It's pretty simple, but if you have difficulty, speak to your upline. Then there's new rank, and there's achieve high PGV. So the new rank, I have found people weren't filling this out. They would do the first sheet, they wouldn't do the second sheet, unless they wouldn't know what to do. So if they're an associate, they would put that they're going to be a director by May of 2024. Don't worry about the 5-year rule. If you have a question about it, ask your upline. And what would your goal be for the new rank? It would be you're as paid on rank, you're an associate. Goal for new rank, very simple, director. You'll earn $200. Fill it out. The bottom one is who's going to help you get there to get the new rank. Well, if you want to go to coordinator, fill in the names of people that you will be working with that will see the vision of expansion and helping people get healthy, put their names down and work with them. Now, for people who have over 5,000 a month and they want to go and earn, this is something they can earn automatically if they're running 5,000 a month. Those of you on the call that run 5,000 a month average, you will get $100 towards your trip. If you average 5,000 for the year of 2024, 2025, that's when it goes from June 2024. You can see my arrow. Through May of 2025, your PGV goal would be 5,000 in all those columns. Oh, excuse me. If you want to go to 7,000 volume, you put 7,000 goal here. You write your actual, what you do, and then your running total, and you're going to adjust it as you travel down. Have a view of the long view. It ain't over until it's over. I get so surprised how some people give up after 1 or 2 months and then they're in the negative versus the positive. Change your thinking to see that you could have a huge month, which has happened to me many times towards the end of these qualifications because I refuse to give up. And when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and you will achieve it. So there's a lot of money here, $100, $200, $300 there. So it's up to $1,300 that you could possibly earn. So please fill it out. Those of you that have people on the call, I really do think that this will make a huge difference for you. Fill it out, send it to your master, ask your master for a call, talk about it, and then you'll see what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of slides, how you can, the activities that you can do in order to get there. Okay. I miss a slide. Hold on one second. No. Okay, so let me introduce one of the people that I've worked very closely with. The next two people I work very closely with now for, I think, the last 3 or 4 years, Dr. Jennifer Cancio, who's doing a bang up job in what her thinking has changed, her activity has changed, and she's going to discuss weekly activity tracker for success, fun, and making a difference. So Dr. Jen, take it away.
Thank you. Well, everybody here wants to grow, and I'm just really glad to be honored to be asked to speak here today because I've really made a shift in my thinking. One of the biggest things is that I thought I could build a business without a real tracker, and you can't. You need a tracker and you need accountability, because without a tracker, you don't know what needs to be worked on and what you're doing well and what's kind of deficient in your skills. So this is a really great weekly activity tracker for your success. And I'll read through each one because it's worth just going through them. What are your 3 fishing holes? Ask yourself, write them down right now if you're taking taking notes. Your fishing holes can be anything, kinds of people that you want to talk to. Your fishing holes can be getting to know people who know a lot of people and see where that leads you and be open to possibilities. The second thing to ask yourself every week, what are my methods for reaching out? Am I calling people? Am I texting people? Am I emailing? Do I have a newsletter? Do I send out postcards? I know number 2 was one that I was very deficient in when I was just in this sustain mode. And, I just wasn't reaching out to my customer base enough or getting to know people. So, think about what your methods are. Can you skill up? What would you like to do differently? Make 3 contacts per week and reach out to new people. Emphasis is on new. Of course, we need to nurture our customer base, but what about new people? Who are your 3 weekly connections with people? So phone, face-to-face, or Zoom, an actual connection as opposed to a text. That's important. Are you doing enough of those? Who do you speak to when you who did you speak to when you brought up the business opportunity? Did you even bring up the business opportunity? Well, for me, that's a hard one to do, or has been a hard one in the past. So if you haven't been bringing up the opportunity, think, well, who would you like to bring that up to? And if you don't know how to reach and connect to them, ask your mentor, ask your upline to help you skill up. And then what are you doing for personal development? What kind of book are you reading? I know for those of you that attended conference, all of the leaders there read books. No one is born a perfect leader. We all have deficiencies and we all have superpowers. Find a book. I myself like audiobooks and like to listen to them at nighttime. It relaxes me. I feel like I'm going to bed with some purpose. They're nice to do when I'm doing other housework. I can take some information in. So books and audiobooks, and then journaling that could be just writing in your tracker. What's your plan? How are you going to fill out your tracker this week? Choose 3 Shackley TVs to watch, or I enjoy also Better Health in 31 Days, and share them. Can you share them with someone in your organization who needs to skill up? And then I think this last one is so important. I know this last one is so important. What did you do this past week that made you feel like you were stretching yourself into new activity? And I can't emphasize enough, if you're not comfortable with getting uncomfortable, you're not going to grow. You're just going to maintain. And, I don't like doing something that I don't want to do, but that's different from avoiding stretching myself because of fear of failure. So how would you like to stretch yourself a little bit? What would you like to do, but you're not doing? Write it down and bring it to your mentor. So, and then, what are your results for the week? I look at this tracker as not a report card where you get graded. It's to educate yourself. What am I doing well? What can I do better? It's an educational tool, which was, that first slide on the PowerPoint. This is to help you and keeping results for the week. And, what are your efforts? I went to Dr. Sal, and I don't know if I have another slide, but I can share what I've been doing differently.
Yeah,
What I
Jennifer,
really,
please do share a little
okay.
bit more about how the differences that you've made, how you've stretched yourself. Give people some examples on, how you're applying everything that you're talking about.
Yeah, well, so one of the big things is I just agreed I got to do a tracker, and Joanne said, Jen, where's your tracker? Where's your tracker? Check your tracker. Where's your tracker? Well, you can't do it without a tracker. And really, you want to use your tracker to get addicted to making efforts. Because if you're making the effort every single day, don't worry about your volume. Think about your effort and how can you improve upon your efforts. Everything starts to come with that. And that really was the big shift for me is I became addicted to the effort of trying. I have a tracker. I have a chart on my wall that I got from Dr. Casow. I write people's names in. I have holding here, going back to note cards and my tickler file. I have note cards of all the new people I want to talk to and why. So I can just flip through this and then I put them in my tracking system. So tracking was a really big thing. The other is I just created a vision. I had a real shift in thinking in the fall. And I remember sharing to Joanne is I realized, I don't want a warm body as a business builder. I wanted to build an organization with some intention. And so I decided the kinds of organizations I want in my business. Health coaches, I'm a functional health coach. So health coaches, wellness experts, because those are the kinds of people I understand the business. Therefore, it's easier to connect to than somebody who is in another business. I also was looking for looking for financial wellness. I call them my financial fitness leg. And those are entrepreneurs also in that really are into, having another stream of income. And then personal trainers was another one. So again, I'm also a Pilates trainer, have been. And so I wanted legs with intention because these are the kinds of people I know how to talk to. And my dream leg, which is really my big, hairy, audacious goal, is to create a leg for people who are rebuilding their health after cancer and offer programs to help people get their health back. All of these four legs and concepts are experiences that I've been through that I can relate to. So when I decided the kinds of people I want, kind of like a niche, then it made it easier. Those people started to pop up. I saw conversations became more natural. And so that was a big thing for me was having that vision and the kinds of people. And then I put the time into having conversations irrespective of how well or poorly they went. I went for the whole go for no concept. And I can tell you some funny no's or some uncomfortable no's where I went for the no and I got bam, real hit hard with some no's. But you know what? I got addicted to also saying next. So getting addicted to those kinds of things, you just skill up and it gets harder and harder to get no's. I started getting surprised at how far I could go in my process of connecting with people when I was just ready for, looking for some no's and looking for some nexts and didn't really care about the outcome. So that was huge. So I really got out of my comfort zone. I don't know how many of you actually really know me, but I'm a super introvert. And so this was really hard for me. But I knew being an introvert, sitting around thinking about people and not talking to them was not going to increase my volume. So I skilled up. Also, the Shackley Wellness Groups really spoke to me because how, like Joanne said at the beginning today, we all know these products work. We all want to make a difference. And the wellness groups and the tools in the wellness groups made it very straightforward or easier to talk to people because I didn't have to make up content. We had content, we have tools that can make a difference. And so what I started to do is in finding some new ambassadors, and then I have some ambassadors to be, is I made the decision to do in-homes via a Zoom and get that into practice. So my goal, and I'm, in the process of creating all of these, is to have a handful of presentations that I do with my new ambassadors or my people that want to grow and build a customer base. And we do the PowerPoint presentation, the Zoom together, and I handhold them where I do 90% and they do 10%. And the next time I do 70% and they do 30%. And I hold their hands through the presentation. So I've done one on supplementation, I've done one on the Get Clean, on gut health, and I'm creating one on skin and beauty from the inside out and outside in. And the wellness groups are tools in our wellness group section. You can create a PowerPoint just from those customer programs and turn them into a Zoom. And so that's basically what I did and have been training my ambassadors to do that also. And in the process, there was, they learn how to invite, they learn how to connect, and I make myself duplicatable in time. And, you know, my goal is to really be doing one of these in-home Zooms a week. So hoping to launch all of that come September. And I've done a handful already, and I've got one tomorrow night actually. But my goal is to have these canned presentations just to train other people with. And I do want to say that you might be like, oh, can I get my hands on your PowerPoint? Maybe Jennifer's PowerPoint is the one that's going to get my volume to grow. Well, I've had all kinds of brilliant PowerPoints, but they're useless unless I go out there and put them into action. So go into the tools section, create content, string together, turn one of those wellness customer groups and turn them into a Zoom, turn it into a group coaching event, turn it into a workshop, whatever speaks to you, and just do it. Just do it. I'll have to say that tracking has been very educational for me, and as awesome as I sometimes think I am, I know I also have deficiencies and need to skill up, and all good leaders do. So, tracking is so valuable because it's just helps us assess what's going well and what can be improved. But the key thing is to just get out of your comfort zone. My comfort zone. My dad's always told my brother and I when we were indecisive, he's like, "Are you going to fish or are you going to cut bait?" And if you're going to fish, you got to get comfortable with being a little uncomfortable. So that's some of what I've been doing this past year. I don't know if there's anything more you'd like me to mention, Joanne.
Well, I think that, the reality is both trackers are essential because,
Yeah.
for example, I've watched my PTV grow and I've paid attention to it and I track it, and it gets so exciting as I watch it grow. And then I think of, so it's numbers. You have to have a numbers tracker as well as a written tracker of names and people you're going to follow up with and how you're doing personal development. All of these things kind of work together to create the kind of strength that you want with a business that you're growing and gaining momentum with. This is all based upon momentum, creating excitement, creating a team that you're working with. And that's why, Jennifer, we've been working and talking about helping each other, which has really been a joy for me because I'm reading a great book called Who Not How that I think was on I think the last OPA call, the gal mentioned it and I picked it up. I love it. We're all working on personal development and talking to each other about how we can skill up, how we can keep our momentum going, and how we can achieve the up leveling of our business. And as you've heard from Jennifer, she's really matured into taking the trackers and the things that you need to do and take going forward and saying yes to it. Okay, I'll go to Dr. Queso because he really helped her with the leadership element thinking. I'll go to the leadership summit with Shackley because that's where I'm going to be with all of my people that I haven't even met and I've been working with. So there are all of these things that aren't really difficult, You may look at it and say, well, I'm not even speaking to one contact a week. Well, if you're happy with that, stay there. But if you want to grow, these are the things that we think you need to do. Okay, Jennifer, thank you so much. We're going to now turn it over to another friend of mine who's working with me closely and has been working with me since actually the 9th grade. So it's been a long connection with the next person here, and that's Pam Budner, who's in Massachusetts. So Pam,
Sure.
let's hear
Thanks.
from
Joanne.
you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to make a segue comment based on what Jennifer said, because I've been reading this book called The Power of One More by Ed Milet, which is one of the books that was discussed in Dallas from the lovely group of people there upstage talking about how one thing impacted their leadership ability. And Jennifer, so one of the things he talks about is creating one more identity and setting your old limiting identity aside. And for those of you who are trying to be fitter, he recommends that you reset your thermostat. So if you want to get to 100 degrees of fitness, how can you do it if your thermostat is set at 75 degrees? So we're all talking about raising the bar, how to increase our business, how to grow. And one of the things that I wanted to speak to tonight is chapter 3. This is a book, I highly recommend it. You know, in the early years of Shackley, we read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We listened to The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale, Tony Robbins. I remember going to hear Tony Robbins. There was just an infusion of wonderful material that helped you grow as a person, enriched your leadership skills. And I kind of got away from that. You know, I kind of think, well, you know, all these books kind of, I don't know, I've been there, done that. But in Dallas, I was really inspired to go back and select some things that I thought were really standout resources, because we all have to sharpen our saw all the time in this business. We have, you know, we're entrepreneurs, we're sole proprietors of our own business. And to stay sharp and to stay focused and to stay vibrant, having a resource to tap into regularly, finding the right thing that speaks to you, whether it's audio or in the written book, I think is really important. So one of the things that he talked about in one of the chapters is the chapter 3, to be exact, is the power of one more. And I was thinking about this because when Peter Attia spoke in Dallas, he said, a direct quote, "Health is a compounding game, just like investing your money." We all know, we were probably taught that if you save 10%, whatever percent, it compounds over time. And that's how really you create a savings, with compounding your money, compounding your health. We all talk about taking our protein and supplements and eating the best foods, that doing that on a consistent basis has a compounding effect. So the older we get, the healthier we can be. And compounding also takes place when you have one more try. The law of averages is now working in your favor. So what's one more try? How can you manifest this? Or how did I work with this compounding concept? I'll talk about doing one more call. In the early days of my Shackley career, I hated to make phone calls, but I had a list of cold calls that I was paying for. And I decided I was going to spend 30 minutes every evening making these cold calls, because I wanted to create some fresh people in my Shackley database. And I learned how to do it. It was a little inconvenient. It kind of like, it wasn't that fun, but the more I did it, the more at ease I got on the phone. So this past June, when Shackley offered the 20% off promo, I decided I was really going to exercise this concept of making one more call. And I set a goal to do a certain amount of calls, to create a certain amount of volume, to increase my volume by $1,000 before, instead of the previous month, in addition. And I just made a list of people and I just went through and I made phone calls. And my objective before I picked up the phone was to be of service to that person. Some people think, well, you have these 20% promotions and, you know, if you promote it strongly, then your volume is going to drop the next month. But I really put that thought aside and I said, how can I be of service to my database and let them know that this is an opportunity for them to take advantage of a discount on some products, maybe to try some new products. And more importantly, it's an opportunity for me to connect with them on the phone. So they're hearing my voice. They know I'm thinking of them. And I would always pick up the phone and I would say, Jennifer, hi, it's Pam. I was just thinking about you. Oh, you're thinking about me. It's sort of like getting a personal note in the mail. That's right. Someone's thinking about you. And that's a great way to have a conversation. Then there's the concept of planting one more seed. And Roger really inspired me to think about this, and you'll see his direct quote on that when we get to the end of this. But he talked about, you know, planting one more seed. How can you plant one more seed? Like Jennifer, I too am an introvert. And, you know, I kind of got lazy about talking about Shackley, whether from the business point of view or from a product point of view. So with the advent of these little multitasking plastic bags, compostable, by the way, I decided that I would stuff my pocketbook with as many of these that I could put in here. And in it is the Shackley Difference folded in half brochure, a chill out and cheer up sample, and a snack bar. I like the chocolate coconut ones. And I have these around so that if I'll give you an example. I had a new dental hygienist. I was in front of my dermatologist. I was in front of some nurses recently. And I might say the conversation, I would say, Joanne, do you get stressed out working? You know, you have to clean 8 teeth, 8 hours a day. And she would say, of course I do. I get really tired. And I would say, you know, I'm with a company, it's a premier wellness company. We're not in Whole Foods, we're not on Amazon, and it's my job to get the word out about something that's really helped me have less stress. May I gift you a little sample of our latest cheer up product? You know, something like that. And I call it my cheer up and snack packet. And no one has said, no, I don't want it. Everyone's so excited to get that little packet. So I'm planting seeds. Can I tell you what's happened yet from that seed planting? No, I can't, because no one has called me up and said, thank you. I'd like to know more. But I'm going to continue to plant those seeds because I've got that law of compounding working for me. That's one way that I can do it and be prepared to have a conversation. Also, connecting with one more person. And Jennifer spoke to this a little bit. Now, when I see that an order has come through, even if it's a customer who's been a customer for a long time, I'm going to write a personal email to that, just a couple of sentences, and say, thank you. I'm so happy you're still here. Or if it's a new person, I had a new order come in, someone who bought BB cream, and I wrote her a note. I said, welcome to Shackley. I'm here for you if you need any help. And by the way, here's a really quick video on how to work with the BB cream. I found that I apply it this way and it works the best. But anyway, I targeted my email so it would be specific to the product that that person was using. And the Shackley TVs are so great and they're so much fun. I really am trying in my communication and my connection to be able to match the right Shackley TV or the right video clip with the person who is on the other end of the email. The other thing I just wanted to mention too is the fact that this concept of compounding, I think, is really, really important because there are days and weeks perhaps where you feel like you're not really growing, you're kind of just going along and you're not going up, up, up. And with the tracking sheet, we want to see things growing. And even if they're not, they are growing as long as you have an attitude of growth, you have your vision in front of you, you're working on making your story better. And I just wanted to mention Kendra's book. If all of you probably have heard of Kendra, her material's excellent. And I am trying to make my story more compelling too, so that if I have someone who's interested in protein, for example, and I hear more and more about the importance of protein for bone health, for aging well, to prevent sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. And how can I be more compelling with a story than talking about facts? So that's another thing I think that we're challenged to do with all this material that we have in front of us. So the power of one more is really about intentional thoughts married to focus attention. We think about Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's book, which is all about intentional thought, but Ed Milet takes it to another level by talking about marrying that intentional thought with focused action. So I think that's all I've got, Joanne.
Well, it's interesting that compounding, I would always say, I have a bank account in the sky. For every activity that I did, I knew I was accumulating that compounding, but I called it a bank account in the sky. And actually what happens is, even if it doesn't get traction on those samples, because you did that activity, it will come to you in some way or form because you've made that movement forward. And that's
Right.
what people have to realize, that sometimes they think, well, why isn't it working? I do believe that if things aren't working, you can change it. And one of the things I wanted to mention was about the fishing holes. And I'm guilty of it. Many of us are. We're very comfortable in the fishing holes that we like to do. So one of the things we've been doing is expanding our fishing holes and where we're actually going to reach out to people, which is what you've done, Pam, in handing out these packets to people that you wouldn't normally talk to about Shaklee. So you're changing your fishing hole, you're changing different activities so that you will get different results and growth. So let's go to the next slide, which I really like, before we finish, which was our last slide for the evening. So Pam, there you go.
There I am. So there I am with Roger. And I wonder why Roger's hair has not changed color, but mine has. How did that happen?
He's got a little gray in there.
This quote just inspired me so much after one of Roger's presentations recently. And I have taped this to my computer monitor. I have written it in my journal. And it just inspires me all the time. Be boldly confident in the value of what we offer. We are stable and growing. Plant the seeds and be proud.
Love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate you taking your Monday evening. They worked today with me to help me put this PowerPoint together, and I couldn't do it without them. So thank you very much. And that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for joining us. If anybody has a question, we have a little bit of time. We're ending early, but I don't think we need to go the full hour. But if someone would like to comment or ask a question, I'll give you 3 minutes to ask it. Otherwise, we'll close the evening.
I have one comment. Because school is now just about in session, and in Florida, it's in session in many areas. Wherever I'm going, I'm taking the children's immunity gummies. with me, and I said, would you like to try these? And also I bought extra of the Kids Meology. So I'm carrying samples of those and taking them with me, and I'm taking the multi gummy also. Says, would you like to try it? Oh yeah, I'd love to. And of course, everybody's saying, oh, yum. Oh, I need to get some of these immunity things and so forth. So that's, if you're dealing in crowds where you've got, parents or grandparents, they might be very interested in those things. And it's an avenue to, of course, hopefully get them, their whole family involved. Just thought I'd share.
That's great because I know Pam has used it with her daughter's community of young moms and has worked very well for her in the children's gummies. And I sent out 100, I think I sent out 250 postcards on the Vital E gummies, and it was great to see some new orders coming in for the people that wanted to try that. So, be creative. Yes, listen to what excites you, because what excites you, you'll be then give a better image of who you are because you're talking authentically. Thank you, Jan. Anyone else?
Hey, Joanne
Hey, Carolyn.
and Pam and Jennifer, you guys, this was absolutely awesome. I think this is something that should be, I want to take the recording and just have this as something that is a really excellent introduction for anyone. And I want to make sure that we have either the same checklist that you're using or ones that we get from wherever. And I missed the very couple of minutes at the beginning.
Yeah, I can provide, I can even provide the PowerPoint to Scott, and anybody can get the slides and then copy and paste. That's what
Great.
I would do. That's the easiest way for me to get it to. So I'll get Scott the PowerPoint and he'll put it into the OPA. And yeah, it's just basics. It's what we've all done. Every single person here is successful. I see Linda knows what she's doing, and it's a matter of, getting excited about, once again, about why we do this. And then everybody, it feeds off of that energy because you've changed your thinking. It's the
Yeah.
same old, nothing's different other than the fact that we now do Zooms for in-homes a lot of the times and do things differently, but it's enthusiasm and excitement. And that's why these new cut groups that are coming in, they're just so happy to have a home, that they're just so excited and grateful and thankful. And that's what we have to start remembering, because, we are, aren't you grateful for those bonus checks that can't come in? I mean, I know I am, and I'm grateful for the health I get from Shackley. I'm grateful for the friends. I'm grateful for everything else. So why keep our mouth quiet? Let's get excited again and share the message we have. So thank you, Carolyn, and I will get the PowerPoint to Scott.
Well, I think
I'd
this
like to-
is what you guys, well, I'm sorry, just one more sentence. What I was going to say is that what you guys have done is put into one quick thing that is like an introductory training for someone. Here's what you need to do. And it comes from people that are active, that know what they're doing. Here are the tools. And so once you've gone through this, then let's talk some more. It's just you've got the instructions right there. And I think you guys have done a great job. So
well, here's the
thanks to you
interesting
guys.
thing, though, if you give it to that weekly report and even the tracker, and I've gotten them in, and boy, does it tell me a lot about the people I'm working with. And I discuss it with them, and I'll get some that say, well, I didn't do anything this much this week. Well, we get out of what we put into it. That is what Jennifer has also said, and it's an eye opener for people themselves to see that whether or not they even want to do the work that they need to do, if they want to get some of those trip dollars or they want to up rank or anything. I just get excited about helping people. That really is what turns me on. So I'm happy that's when I work the best, actually.
Well, great job.
We'd like to thank you girls for a terrific presentation tonight. Real meat and potatoes.
That's
Take this
good.
stuff and really use it.
It was a
Simple,
potluck.
stay hot for you. That's right.
It was
And I will add, for someone like me, it's a good reminder, because sometimes you fall off the wagon and you think, what am I supposed to be doing? You know, you get too comfortable. You get too comfortable, and it's good to have. It was good. It was very, very good. Thank you all for doing this.
Actually, for myself, what I did, because I can get, I do a lot of things. I just keep very active in life. So I took the weekly planner, the weekly report. I copied it into, made 40 pages of it, and I put it into a booklet. So each week I have one page that I have to fill out for myself on what I'm doing. And it really, it really is an eye opener when, you say, well, did I do what I'm asking my team to do? And that, of course, we as senior leaders have different activities that we have to do in order, such as the putting time into putting a PowerPoint and getting the speakers and all of that stuff. That's a little different, but still, who am I talking to? So I'm reaching out in different areas that I would have never reached out before, because I also am an introvert. It's amazing. I'm an introvert. I've attracted 2 other introverts, but we still build the business because we're not joiners so much as we are, a little bit more private. But Alan, you have something?
Which specific tracker is that, please?
This is the weekly activity tracker, which is what are your 3 fishing holes? What are your reaching out methods? Who are your 3 new people you've talked to? Who did you talk to the business about? What were your phone and face and Zoom events that you did with people? What are you currently doing for personal development? What did you watch on Shackley TV, or what did you listen to or learn from? What did you expand your self into a new activity, and what were your results? That will be on the PowerPoint, Alan, and what I suggest you doing, what I do is I use a clip art and I clip the page. You can take the PowerPoint and then just copy it and paste it and then have it. I guess
That's a tracker that was on tonight then. You made 40 copies of that.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just put it into Word and copied it 40 times, so I'd have enough for that I had to do for each week.
Each week, terrific.
So I pay attention. Otherwise I go do other things.
Super. Thank you.
All right, anybody else have a comment before we close this Friend Fest?
It'd be nice if something finally ever started.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you all. Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night. Good
Thanks,
night.
Jennifer.
Great week.
Thank you, Pam. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Bye.